They didn't reject you. They controlled you. And the moment you understand this difference, everything changes. You've been calling it rejection, haven't you? You've been telling yourself you weren't good enough, that you said something wrong, that you pushed too hard. But here's what John Bowlby, the father of attachment theory, would tell you. When someone disappears without explanation, they're not rejecting you. They're activating your deepest survival instincts to keep you emotionally dependent. If this feels like I'm reading your mind, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you struggle to say no to the most. I read every single comment, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Listen to me carefully. When someone disappears on you, no explanation, no closure, just vanishing, they're using one of the most primitive forms of psychological control that exists. Bowlby discovered that our attachment system, the very mechanism that kept us alive as children, can be weaponized against us as adults. You're not crazy for feeling this way. You're not weak for missing them. You're not pathetic for wanting answers. Your brain is doing exactly what millions of years of evolution programmed it to do when faced with sudden abandonment. Think about it. A child whose parent disappears doesn't think, well, they must not love me. The child thinks, I must do whatever it takes to bring them back because my survival depends on it. That same wiring is still in you. When someone disappears, your nervous system doesn't register rejection. It registers abandonment threat. And abandonment threat triggers chase mode. But here's what they're counting on: your confusion. They want you to blame yourself. They want you to think you did something wrong. They want you to stay in that space of self-doubt because self-doubt keeps you controllable. You don't chase people who clearly reject you. You chase people who give you intermittent reinforcement, people who disappear and reappear, who are hot and cold, who leave you in emotional limbo. Because limbo keeps you hoping. Limbo keeps you available. Limbo keeps you small. The disappearing act isn't about you not being enough. It's about them knowing exactly how to keep you hooked without giving you anything real. It's about them maintaining power while avoiding responsibility. It's about them getting your energy without giving you their presence. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. Healthy people don't disappear. Healthy people communicate. They say, I'm not feeling this, or I need space, or this isn't working for me. They don't vanish into thin air because they respect both your humanity and their own. When someone disappears on you, they're telling you exactly who they are. They're someone who would rather leave you in psychological torment than have a difficult conversation. They're someone who values their comfort over your peace of mind. They're someone who sees you as disposable. And let me tell you something else. This isn't your first time, is it? You've been here before, maybe not with this person, but with someone like them. Someone who made you feel chosen, then made you feel forgotten. Someone who pulled you close, then pushed you away. Someone who made you question everything about yourself. But here's where it gets interesting. You keep calling it rejection because rejection implies you weren't enough. But control implies they knew exactly how much power they had over you, and they used it. Bowlby taught us that secure attachment is built on consistency, reliability, and emotional availability. When someone disappears, they're showing you they possess none of these qualities. They're showing you they're incapable of the very foundation that healthy relationships require. They're showing you they're emotionally unavailable. They're showing you they lack empathy. They're showing you they're selfish. They're showing you they're cruel, but somehow you're still making it about your worth instead of their character. So why does it hurt so much? Because your attachment system is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's trying to reconnect with someone your nervous system has identified as important for your survival. But they're not important for your survival. They're dangerous to your survival. Every time you chase someone who disappears, you're teaching your nervous system that love equals anxiety, that connection requires suffering, that you have to earn what should be freely given. You're training yourself to become addicted to unavailability. You're teaching yourself that the people who treat you well are boring, that consistency is predictable, that kindness is weakness. You're rewiring your brain to crave what hurts you and to dismiss what heals you. But what if I told you that their disappearing act was actually them disqualifying themselves from your life? What if their inability to communicate was them showing you they're not equipped for the kind of love you deserve? What if their silence was actually them telling you everything you need to know about their character? What if their disappearance was actually them doing you the biggest favor of your life? Here's what changes everything. Stop calling it rejection and start calling it what? It is emotional cowardice. They didn't reject you because you weren't worthy of their love. They disappeared because they weren't worthy of yours. They couldn't handle your depth. They couldn't match your emotional intelligence. They couldn't rise to your level of vulnerability. So instead of admitting their limitations, they made you question yours. You know what secure people do when they're no longer interested? They communicate with kindness and clarity. They don't leave you wondering. They don't leave you analyzing every text message. They don't leave you questioning your worth. They don't ghost you and then reappear months later acting like nothing happened. They don't breadcrumb you with just enough attention to keep you hoping. They don't make you feel like you have to audition for their affection. The person who disappears on you isn't rejecting you. They're revealing themselves. They're showing you they lack the emotional maturity, the communication skills, and the basic human decency that real love requires. And here's the beautiful part. Once you understand this, you stop chasing. Not because you've given up on love, but because you've remembered what love actually looks like. Love doesn't disappear. Love doesn't leave you guessing. Love doesn't vanish when things get real. Love shows up. Love communicates. Love stays and works through difficulties instead of running away from them. Love doesn't play games with your attachment system. Love doesn't use your trauma against you. Your attachment system has been hijacked, but it can be healed. Every time you choose not to chase someone who disappears, you're rewiring your nervous system. You're teaching it that consistency is what you respond to, not chaos. That presence is what you value, not absence. Every time you choose your dignity over their dysfunction, you're breaking the cycle. Every time you choose your peace over their drama, you're healing your attachment wounds. Every time you choose yourself over someone who won't choose you, you're reclaiming your power. They didn't reject you, they disqualified themselves, and that's not a loss, that's a gift, because now you know exactly what you're not willing to accept. Now you know that disappearing acts aren't mysterious or romantic, they're just cruel. Now you know that the right person won't make you wonder where you stand. The right person won't make you question your worth. The right person won't disappear when things get real or complicated or messy. Stop giving your power to people who don't have the courage to use their voice. Stop making yourself available to people who make themselves scarce. Stop calling their emotional immaturity your rejection. Stop waiting for closure from people who lack the emotional capacity to give it to you. Stop hoping they'll come back and explain themselves. Stop believing that their return would validate your worth. You weren't rejected, you were spared. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll stop being available to people who were never available to you. The right person won't disappear on you. They'll stay and figure it out with you. And that's not too much to ask for. That's the bare minimum of what love looks like.